Okay, so let's quickly check homeworks. Okay. Yeah, good. See, the verdict is fail, right? You cannot write successfully executed test cases. Okay, it's failed. So you cannot actually. When it is failed, you don't want to write any information or just leave it until it's fixed. Okay, you have to only write it once it has been passed. Okay, okay, so let's see here. Someone didn't execute the test case. Okay, this execution is important. If you are not executing test case, then it's no point. No point of writing all the test cases, okay? Unless you're hired only to write test cases, that's a different story. But mostly you will be the one who is actually writing the test cases and also executing them. Okay. You have to be very careful when you're blocking a test case. Okay, so if it is blocked, okay, that's good. Okay, so this is good reason. Okay, yeah. If you're entering some special characters, you cannot move forward, right? So this is good. Okay. Um, Page can't navigate because it's a bug, and it only happens in the Chrome, not in Firefox. So you want to specify which is the browser here. Okay. So you want to specify the browser. Okay, good. This is good. Okay, good. So it's good with defects. Okay. So yeah, you have to remember, okay, this is good. Everyone, most of them, whoever has written good, you have to put screenshot. If you're not putting screenshot, it's no point. Okay, you'll be running around with developer will be running around you, and developer don't run around you. They will just report to your boss. You don't want to happen there, right? And if it goes to your boss, then you know what happens. Okay, so you don't want to reach till that place. And also, if you're the people who have not put the documents, you have to put the document. Okay. Um, See, just like this. Okay, you can put a document, and I mean, it's not really mandatory. I mean, if you are good at talking, you can know how to do and know what to do. So, um, So that's good. But this is failed, so there's no need of document. Okay, makes sense. This is passed, so you have to have document. Okay. So that's how so that's how you have to do. Okay. Screenshot. If you are doing screenshot for bug, of course you need to have a screenshot always as a bug. If you see here, all of those have document with the screenshot. So of course you will be having screenshot if there is a bug. But if you don't have bug, you still have to have screenshot and document in MS Word or MS Word, or it's up to you. Okay, that's how you need it. That's what I've shown in this. That's how you have to do in the test cases, right? If you see my test cases, you have to document. My test case. Where is it? See. Okay, good. So if you see here, you have to document all the screenshots. Without screenshots, you see this result are dark. Okay, you want to either way you have to take screenshot. You cannot escape. Okay, so unless you don't want to do it or you know how to do it, all those things, that's fine. But other than that, you know, if you want to really maintain your good rapport with your boss, and you have to do it. Okay, so let's go to pretty quick. So we're done with the rally. Okay, if you can still practice it if you're interested. So to attach it, you always have an option. Okay, so I think you have to go to the video. Okay, so let me show you once again. If you're not able to attach it, okay, you can view the previous recordings. Okay, so here I'll show you pretty quick. So there are plenty of ways to do it. Okay, not just one. Here you can attach it. If you see this icon here, insert click image, you can attach a screenshot here. Okay, that is one way. And the other way is you can still put the attachment here, drag and drop. Okay, so you see this, click insert image. So okay, so you have to go back to the recordings, and have to see that recordings, and you can plan accordingly. Okay, so you don't need Word doc. You're not attaching Word doc in. See, again, that's the reason, right? You have to go to this recordings and view it. You don't, you cannot attach a Word doc for the screenshot. Screenshot itself means you have to either paint or no. So you have to use a paint, or if you are attaching Word doc, you can do it in attachment section, but you cannot have the display image. Okay, display image should be only .png file, .png, .jpeg. Okay, so those kind of things, but not MS Doc. MS Doc is you are using only to document your result. Okay, so don't get confused on that. Okay, that is a different, bug is a different thing. Test cases, attachment, documentation is different thing. Okay, don't get confused. Okay, so here, so let's see here pretty quick. So here we'll discuss various documents. So let's go one by one. Okay. So Confluence, we'll be doing a little bit later when, maybe on Tuesday, kind of Tuesday we'll be doing this on Jira when I take the Jira introduction, but here let's go to various documents. So let's talk about this BRD document. Okay, so what is this BRD exactly? So this is called Business Requirement Document. Okay, so if you have any questions in the previous class, okay, you can reach out to me email, okay, because now I've already we have less time and we have to complete this course, okay. Reach out to email or you can call me, after class hours. My phone number is, you can reach out to me. Or if I don't pick up the call, just make sure you email me, okay. It's manu@itamerika.com, or you can reach out to 732-333-4781, okay. After the class, if you have any questions, can we discuss in detail? Okay. So because we have to complete this pretty quick here. Okay. Okay. So here we go to BRD, okay, business requirement document. So what is this exactly? So this is called, this is a high level document. Okay. Prepared by business analyst, and what does it exactly contains? Contains 10 to 20% of use cases, business modeling, risk analysis, and budget. Okay, so we'll just refer this pretty quick here. So I'll be giving you access to Google Drive, so you can also refer this. So let's see how this BRD document looks like. So we want to see how it looks, right? Just talking is not enough. Um, Talking is not enough. You need to really see how that document is really looks like. Okay, that's what we want, right? Um, just by talking doesn't help. Okay, so let's go here. So I'll be giving you access to this. Okay, by end of day, so you can look into this. So go to business requirements. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. So this is BRD. Okay. Now this is different from FRD. FRD is actually a functional requirement document. This is, if you are doing ETO, it will be more of a BRD document. Okay, so if you see here, okay, if you see here, there's a lot of information. Okay, if you see this, and it's not really necessary that as a QA point of view, you're doing only this. There's a lot of information you have to understand, so you have to go through all this, because this document is prepared based on keeping a lot of people in mind. So this document has everyone access, including directors. So everyone have access to this document, okay, right from project manager, okay, and developer, testers, and business analyst. Obviously, business analyst prepares all this, okay, and architects and everyone who is in the project. Okay, so a lot of people will be having access. So if you are reading this and if you don't understand, that's common. You cannot understand everything, because again, this is prepared keeping a lot of people in mind. So if you are thinking that no, it's QA, I have to read it and it should just come just like that, doesn't work that way. You have to go through this plenty of time. Okay, you have to at least read 3 times. Okay, or if you know what you're trying to do, if there is underline, you have to look on this and see what actually this is, and you have to write test cases based on this, or mapping document, however it is. Okay, so you have to look all of this and you have to go through at least 3 times. Okay, if you're good, once is good, but you have to at least go plenty of times to understand what actually is there. And once you go through it and you want to see which part or which module does it belongs, and you have to write test cases based on that. Okay, not always application will not be ready. There's no hard and fast like this that no, I know the application, I'll start writing my test cases based on the application. Doesn't work that way. Okay, because we already had this application ready, so you were able to write test cases based on that. But doesn't work every time like that. You have to look at this document and prepare test cases. Okay, that's how you have to do it. Okay, so that's a BRD. Let's go to the next one. Then it's called FRD, that's functional requirement document. Okay, and what does it contain? It contains functionality and features of the application. Okay, so let's see here. Let's so this is the document. This is pretty simple. Actually, it's very simple. I mean, this doesn't have anything here, but let's see here. So this is the document. Okay, so this have this functional requirement. Okay, and if you see here, there is first name, last name. Okay, so we don't have application ready with this, but I can show you an example how you can relate when you have this FRD document with you. So let's say here I'm using this. So now let's say this document is ready. Okay, so let's say this this is document and this application. Okay, now this is not application. This is not the document for this application. This application is completely different. But just what I'm trying to say here is how you can relate if you have the document. Okay, because not always the information will be in such an easy manner. You have to relate the information from one place to another. So let's say you have prescriber first name. So if I see here also we have first name. So they are trying to say this is a static text. Okay, name is static text and field value. Of course, this has a field value. So that means they're trying to say that name is static text and this field value. Okay, and you have this last name. Okay, we don't have this last name here. So address. So address. That's good. We have address, static text, and field value. Okay, and then you have zip code. Okay, zip is you have static text and field value and so on. Okay, so based on that, okay, you can relate this document to the application. Okay, so yeah, somebody asked, right? So again, as I told you before, BRD is more related to ETL point of view and FRD is more related to functional point of view. Does it make sense? So functional means you are taking the functionality of an application, functionality and features. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, so let's go to pretty quick here. Finish in 15 minutes. Okay, so then you have SRS document. Okay, so what is SRS? Is System Requirement Specification. So not always you'll be having SRS document, but let's see here. So it contains information about all hardwares. Okay, all hardwares and what it's doing, what the server, how many servers are installed, how many users are for that server. So you see this all this. So it contains all system level. So that's what it named, right? It's all system level specification. Okay. So it's really not that you normally don't go till SRS unless you are working on some networking project or something else. You really don't require this SRS document. Okay, but yeah, it's good to know. Okay. Then you have physical data model. Okay, that's called PDM. Let's see here. Okay, here you go. So physical data model contains all the information related to physical entity, right? That's table. So it contains all the information about the table. Let's see here. Okay, see here, so all the information related to table shows up. Okay, so that's called PDM. So there's one more thing called ER diagram, so entity relationship diagram. Okay, so that is a different thing. So that is not, but here you see that this is mini ER diagram. Okay, that when you're writing your test cases for ETL. Okay, so you have to look through this. Okay, you have to look through this, and but this is really different thing. ER diagram is completely different. Okay. Okay, so but it contains all the PDM contains all the information about the tables. Okay, physical entity, that's called physical data model. Okay, so PDM is used for your information. Okay, whenever if you are doing an ETL, okay, ETL projects, then you have to know PDM or LDM. Okay, so that's how you have to know when you're doing ETL perspective. Okay, then you have logical data model. Okay, so this logical data model. So it contains information about logical entity. Okay, that's views. Okay, it contains information about the views. So how the views are designed and what's the purpose of the views. All this should be there in this, document. Okay. So that's Iridium, and then we'll go to next one. There's something called high-level design. So the high-level design, right? So what does it contain? So it contains information about, let's say, call flows. Normally, it's like call flows. Okay. So let's take an example here. So let's say you're calling, you know, let's say you're calling Bank of America. Okay. When you call, call someone or some company actually, when you're calling. So you have to go through that process, right? Let's say customer care. You're calling customer care for Bank of America. So when you're calling it, you don't get added to customer care, right? You are going to that automated service, right? That's called IVR, interactive voice response. Okay. So so let's say those are designed by web services. Okay. Now those, if you have to put into a document those IVR, so that you have to put in call flows. That means you have start, and if you say something wrong, okay, it goes to the next flow. If you say something correct, it goes to another flow. Okay, and if you're if you're not answering for for a while, then it goes to another flow. So all these call flows, right? So that has to be put in a document. So that's called high-level document. Okay, so that's one of the example that you can use. It's not completely only that one. You can use high-level document for many cases or many scenarios, but that's just one of the example for. Okay, so high-level design. Yes, LDM, LDM, PDM, and all those are used in the ETL, ETL process. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next one, TDD. So there is something called TDD, technical design document. Okay. So what is this document about? Okay, so this contains, let's say you are having, you're running jobs. Okay, so you need jobs. So let's see, why do you need actually this job, right? There are three environments. Okay, there's dev environment, test environment, and production environment, right? You want to move your code from dev to test, right? You have to move all the code from development to test environment. Now, there's a millions of data. Okay, there's a millions of data. Now, you cannot tell me that you just use copy paste and put that doesn't work. Okay, just don't come up with such kind of things. Okay, I'll just copy paste, just copy millions of data and put it into this. Okay, so that doesn't work that way. So what you have to do is you have to use a tool, for example, like Autosys. Let's say Autosys, Tidal. Okay, these are an example. Or Informatica, even Informatica has that option into it. So what it does, you have a lot of SQL scripts, shell scripts, and a lot of things. Okay, those shell scripts are designed to trigger those, Informatica maplets. Okay, maplets. Once it gets triggered, it moves the data from one environment to another environment. So for the jobs to run, you have to, those jobs contain SQL scripts and a lot more than that SQL. Okay, it contains a lot of things because you have to, you have dependency jobs, you have independent jobs, and there's automated jobs which run frequently every day. So all this is documented in document called TDD, Technical Design Document. Okay. So this is also kind of block diagram. So it contains a block diagram of each and every job. Okay, how the job is running, which job has to be done, and what is the dependency job, what is the independent job, and all those things. It contains all this information in TDD. Okay, let's go to the next one. Then there's called STM. STM is source to target mapping document. So let's see here STM. Okay, good. So this is an example. Okay, so let's see this as an example. Okay. Okay. So here, if you see this, okay. So this is the mapping document. Okay, this is an example for mapping document. Okay. So it contains a lot of information here. So what information? It contains information about source and the target. Okay. Now what the source and target has? Of course, it has tables. Okay, it's a database. It has a lot of tables, has a lot of columns. It has plenty of rows. Okay. Now here, let's see here. There's information about this BDW target column name. BDW means business data warehouse. Okay, there's BDW and EDW. Okay, now that means they are talking about all the columns that has that table has, or maybe there might be many tables, but for now this is the tables. Okay, so these are the columns for that particular table. Okay, then you have this. What is the data type for that table? I'm sorry, for the column. Okay, now this contains integer and a lot of things. And then you have this BDW target PK. PK is primary key. Okay, so obviously it has to be one. But if you see this, there are many here. That means it's a composite primary key. That means it contains more than one. If the primary key contains more than one column, then it's called composite primary key. Okay, you can put plenty of, maybe at that time it was 24. I'm not sure about now. You can put many more composite primary keys. Okay, and then you have this reference table, and then again, this is all about target. Then there's information about the source. Okay, what is the source field name, what is source database, and what is the mapping. So normally mapping is done for the target, not to the source. But here, if you see this is a typical data warehouse mapping document, which is done on source. That means it's not really source, it's actually the staging. Okay, that's the beginning. The source and target is called staging. Okay, so this is you have to write your SQL based on this transformation logic. Okay, and there's remarks version. So this is what mapping STM. This is called STM, source to target mapping document. So what is source to target mapping document? It contains all the information about the target database and the source database. Target database contains various tables, okay, and tables contains columns, and all these columns are here. Okay, of course there is no rows here because normally they don't specify rows. You have to get rows by querying it because rows are in millions. Okay, columns are not in millions, so that's why they put it here in columns. Okay, and okay, so these are all. This contains all in the mapping document. Okay, so that's about STM. Then you have something called test plan document. Okay, so let's pretty quick check here. Test plan document. We have document here. So what does it contain? So it's a high-level document prepared by the QA lead. So QA lead actually prepares it, but just because QA lead is preparing, you're not idle. You have to give inputs. So what you have to prepare, what you have to do, So here, this is what it contains. It contains all information about testing, what kind of testing, how are we approaching it, test pass fail criteria, test deliverables, okay, test suspension resumption criteria. If there are any other testing, okay, like functional testing, load testing, and performance testing, you have to document it. So you have to, and how many resources they have, you have to document all this. So that's called test plan document. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Then something called test strategy document. Okay, so sometimes test strategy and test plan in the company, they are referred as same, but actually they are not same. Okay, these contains a different, it contains a different. Let's see here if you have this. Okay, the scenarios in the test strategy are completely different. Okay, let's see here. If you see here, these are the different scenarios, and normally, okay, the test plan document is like you're planning how are you, going with the project. That's called test plan. And test strategy is like you are actually discussing if there are any issues, how are you going to proceed with that, including or excluding that issue. So that's called strategy. Okay, that's the main reason, difference between the test plan and test strategy document. Okay. So in plan, we are not actually, we are just planning it. We are not worrying about issues. But if any issues are encountered, how are we actually, working on that? If some resource has left, or, some experienced guy has left, how are you going to proceed? So all this should supposed to be documented in test strategy document. Okay, so that's the reason of having test strategy. So again, test plan and test strategy document are prepared by the QA lead. Okay. So again, in some again, that's what I'm saying, right? In the companies, they might say it's same, so go with the flow. If there is a, they're saying same, but in some companies they are different. Okay, in that case, you have to understand the difference. Okay, so okay, so give me a second. I'll just look for it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, normally, if if they say company in the company, if you say test plan and the strategy is same, then go with the flow. Okay, you don't have to argue like test strategy is different, test plan is different. There might be putting all that in the same, but in some places it's different. So you have to see both the documents. Okay, so there will be a lot of instances. Okay, so a lot of scenarios, so you have to be careful. Okay, so which document you're referring, which you're not referring. Okay, again, there will be a lot of versions in that. Okay, there will be a lot of versions, so you have to be very careful on that. Okay, so let's go to the next one, test cases. So we know the test cases. Okay, so what is a test case? The test case is a high level document, okay, prepared by the QA. Okay, so what does it contains? It contains test case ID, objective, steps to perform, expected result, pass, fail, comments, and remarks. So these are all contains in the test cases. Okay, so we have seen two columns, right? We have seen two boxes. One is what is the input and what is the expected. Okay, so but you have to be in detail when explaining it. Okay, you have to say also you also have test case ID. What is the objective for that? And how are you performing that? That is steps to perform and expected result, pass, fail, comments and remarks. Okay, so you all have on that. So if you look here, let's go pretty quick here. Okay, so you have all this, right? Objective. So what is the objective? So this is an objective. Test case ID. So that's what this means by test case ID. Okay, and what is steps to perform? So these are all steps to perform what you're trying to do. And what is the expected result? So this is actually the result. Okay, pass or fail criteria. Okay, is it pass or is it fail? If you have any comments, let's say this is the notes. This is comments, and if you have any remarks. So all this is actually there in the test case. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Test case ID is this one. See this TC340. That's the test case ID. Okay, these are steps to perform. There's step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to migration document. Okay, so why do we need this migration document? Okay, let's say you're migrating from one. Let's say you are using some Teradata. Okay, you're using some Teradata and you're migrating to Oracle database. Okay, there are two different databases. There's Teradata and there is Oracle. Okay, why you're migrating? Let's say there's a new version came up, which Oracle supports lot millions of data than Teradata. Okay, and there's a better option in the Oracle. Then what you do is you want to upgrade it. Okay, so you want to migrate all the data from from the Teradata to Oracle. Now that's not easy, right? Because the SQL used in Teradata is different. The SQL used in Oracle is different. Okay, and a lot of people will be working on it because there will be Teradata developers, there will be Oracle developers, a lot of people. So you want to document all this because let's say some experienced guy has left the company. The person who is supposed to handle all this has left the company. So now they want to hire a new guy. Now let's say they want to hire a new guy, that guy don't know about it, right? How the project is going, what's the theme of the project, what they're trying to do, you don't know. So in that way, you want to use migration documents. You want to see this is the way the process, and this is what we are trying to do. Okay, so that's about migration document. Okay, any question? Okay, any questions so far in this? Who creates migration documents? So migration documents, it depends. It depends whoever is responsible. Okay, normally architect. The architect guys might be also working. It's a lot of people will be working on it, not just architect. It might be also business analyst, architect, and also lead. If the lead is playing the major role, they will be also creating the document. Okay, so a lot of people will be working to create the document. So yes, all this is in data warehouse. And the similarity between TDL and migration. TDL, you have to tell me what is TDL. Okay. So migration document, you're migrating from one platform to another platform. You don't have to be a database. You don't have to be a DB2. You don't have to be just an example for you to understand. But it's actually you are migrating from one platform to another platform. Okay, so TDD is technical design document. So TDD is actually contains information of the about jobs. Okay, you are actually okay. That's a very good question then. So TDD is it contains the normally block diagram. Okay, it just contains the block diagram. This is regarding jobs. Okay, you are migrating the data from dev to test to production, right? That's you do in the TDD. That's a document in TDD. Migration is like complete, just nothing to do with dev or test environment or any production environment. You are actually putting the whole data from one to another. Because that's a difference. Okay. This is nothing to do with environments. Migration document is actually complete thing. Yeah, I mean, you can take it. System requirement. System requirement. You have SRS again, right? System requirement specification. So that's a different document you have. So yeah, you can. It's basically based on the project, however you want to use in the project. But generally, this is the scenario. Okay. So okay, you can say that yeah, we don't use SRS, we use TDD. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. So it depends on really on the project, how the project is going. It's not necessary all the projects should contain all these documents at once. Okay, it may contain, it may not contain. Okay, based on the complexity of the project. Okay, but these are general terms that that may contain that you may have come across in the project. Okay, these are general. But based on the complexity of the project, it may contain, it may not contain, or they might use, as somebody said, right, test strategy, test plan is same. So yeah, that they can be used in the project. Okay, and similarly, TDD you can use in SSRS. Okay, now you can use. So that's how. So you might have say it's not really necessary. You might have access to the project. Okay, previous project you can request the template. If you're working on test cases, let's say if you want to write your test cases, you have to request template. Okay, you can request that, or you might have that option in the SharePoint. Okay, but it's not necessary you have access to previous projects. It's not really mandatory and it's really not required to. Okay, they'll not give you access to previous projects. Okay. Okay, so let's go to any more questions? We'll just finish pretty quick here. It's not really necessary. Application and ETL testers. So this we just Rally is just an example. Rally Jira is for example. At project, you might be using completely different tool. Okay, so let's say Zephyr. You might be using Zephyr. I don't know. Okay. Now you cannot tell me that no, I only know Rally. I don't know Zephyr. Okay, so you cannot say that. So that's the point is you have to get used to the process, not the tool. Okay, so it's not necessary. You have to be using only that tool. You might use a different tool altogether. You might use BMC, but nobody knows. Okay, BMC ticket management tool. Still, it's a ticket management tool, not just test management. Okay, but you're not familiar with that, but you know Rally, so you can correlate with this and use that one. Okay, that's how. That's how you can do that. Okay, so it depends on the project. You can use one tool, two tool, or many tools. It's completely based on the project. Okay, it's not really hard and fast. It's not really hard and fast rule that you have to use only one tool or two tool. Okay, I've worked in a company which uses multiple tools. Okay, I used to work in ADP. There they use HPALM, they use Rally. Okay, they used I don't know. I don't even remember. There are so many tools they were using. No, all these are test management tools. They might be using anything. Okay, so it's really not necessary. You are just using one tool or two tools. You might use multiple tools. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, so let's go to pretty quick. We'll finish this one. We're running late. Um, here. So let's talk about this SDLC. Okay, so SDLC is software development lifecycle. Okay, so this is not a tool. Okay, so previously some some people in previous batch they said no, why don't you give the access to SDLC? Okay, so this SDLC is not a tool. It's a framework. Okay, it's a framework. That means this is decided by management perspective. Although it's decided by management perspective, you have to be get used to the system because you're in the flow, right? You're in the development testing, all this. So you have to get used to that, environments, that kind of framework. So that's called SDLC, software development lifecycle. And this is no software. Okay, so here let's check it out pretty quick here. So what does it contain? It contains various phases of lifecycle. Okay, so okay, so here it contains various phases. Okay, now here you have 10 phases. If you want to go, you can go through all the 10 phases. But I'll stick to only 6. Okay, so let's see here. See here, SDLC. What is SDLC? It's a framework that describes the activity performed in each stage of the software development. Okay, it's not a software, it's not a tool, or it's not something. It's a method. Okay, it's a method where you actually perform the work. Okay, so one of the examples here is waterfall methodology. So we'll discuss on this waterfall methodology. So the name waterfall because it's only one way. If you found any issues, you have to go back to again requirements and you have to fix it. So that's the reason they call one waterfall. This is only top to bottom, right? The water flows from top to bottom, not bottom to top. That's why the car is waterfall, only one way. Okay. So here, there is a requirements phase where business analyst or product owner, okay, documents all the requirements. Okay, so this is the job of a business analyst. So they document all this requirement phase. Now next you have design phase. This is the job of an architect who wants to design. Okay, how the application should look like, how how are you designing that application, how many columns you need, so because there's also back-end work too, right? There's back-end and front-end both. Okay, so all this is done by the architect guy. Then there's the implementation phase that's done by the developer. Okay, that's done by the development people, and where the project is actually, they start coding. Okay, they start coding here, and that's an implementation phase. When you have this testing phase, here we start testing. This is the job of a testers. Okay, testers will be working on it. Now let's say next you have installation phase where middleware team, normally we middleware team, or a lot of people will be working, not just one or two. You have to coordinate a lot with the development and middleware team, and they will install this to move your code from one environment to another environment. Okay, that's installation. And then you have maintenance phase where it's normally this is for QA lead perspective. Okay, normally QA lead takes care of this maintenance. Okay, let's say there's a production issues or there are any issues, you have to maintain it. Okay, so that's the maintenance phase. Okay, so yeah, that's what you have to pay attention. What I'm saying, design and implement. So if you want to be more, if you don't want to go in detail, that's fine. Design is done by the architect guy and implementation is done by the developer. So there's a difference, okay, between architect and developer. Okay, so just don't get confused on this. Okay, because if you will be working with a lot of people, not just one or two people. Okay, so you have to know, if you have to know the architect who is really doing what. Okay, because of course those are also called as developers, but to be specific, you have to request a lot of documents from them. You will be a lot of doing work with them, so you have to be very specific on that one. Okay, so here's my question. So question is, as a QA, point of view, where does QA job start from? Can anyone answer? As a QA point of view, when do we start? Okay, so implementation. So if so many people are saying in the middle of this, so do you think the QA will be idle from all this? So you're saying me that client pays for you for being idle because your job starts from test, so you'll be idle from all these three phases. That's what you're saying, and you will not be working anything, and you'll be just be idle and doing nothing. All these phases. That's what you mean. Okay, so you cannot work just in as being as a tester. Your job starts right from requirement phase. Okay, requirement. So what you do exactly here, so you will be doing a lot of brainstorming here. Okay, you have to schedule meeting with product owner, with business analyst. You have to work with your lead. Okay, what's going on with the project, and if the new requirements comes up, you have to see if you have any issues with the requirements, which QA environment will be going in. There are a lot of QA environments. Okay, QA1, QA2, QA3, and all are blocked. How are we going to proceed with all are blocked? So these are called brainstorming. Okay, all this brainstorming work is done in the requirement section. You have to schedule meeting, meeting with business analysts and all the developers and all the testers, and see what we can do with this requirement and how are we going to proceed with it with all these issues. Okay, a lot of things will be there, right? So that's how you will be doing in the requirements section. Okay, you cannot start right from test. There's no reason to start test, because if you are testing only in test, then there will be a lot of issues that will not get fixed. Okay, so you have to start right from. Okay, so again, right, I mean, so you have to, that's what I said, right? In the design phase, architect guy is involved, and implementation phase, the developer is involved. Okay, so in the design, all the architect work, you know, how the design should be is done by the architect, and implementation is the developer. Okay, who is how the project is implementing and how the application is going is be done in the implementation phase. Okay, now next, let's go to the next design phase. Okay, in this phase, as a QA point of view, okay, you will be, what you will be doing, you have a lot of work to do, right? You have test plan document, you have test strategy document. Okay, you have to prepare your test cases, so you have to do in this. Okay, in the design phase. Okay, let's say you work with test plan and test strategy. Let's go to the next implementation phase. As a QA point of view, what you will be doing, let's say you have done with test plan and test strategy document. Okay, in implementation phase, you have to work with your test cases. Okay, you need to work with the test cases. You have to start writing test cases. Okay, there's a lot of work. And what is the next test? Here you will be executing your test. No time for writing test cases. That's done, because you will not have that much time to do. This is only time to test. Start testing your application, and you have to executing the test cases. No writing. Writing was completed in test implementation. Okay, and then coming to the installation phase, here you have to work with a lot of middleware team or developer team to move that code from this environment to another environment. So you have to be a lot of coordination work. Okay, and the maintenance phase, normally QA lead our experienced guy who is responsible will be working on this maintenance phase. Okay, so these are the 6 phases. As a QA, you will be starting right from the requirement phase. Okay, there's no reason to start in test. Okay, so these are some of these strengths. Okay, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? So production team, so somebody asked, right, when is the production team? Why production team is involved? My question is, if you're asking production team, my counter question to you is, why do you need a production team? First place. Okay. So if you want production team, first thing, no one have access to this production, production database or production applications. Okay, you can have view access, but no one have access. So there is no reason to pull up the production team here. If you have any specific reason for the production team to be involved, then you have to be more clear on that. Why do we need a production team in this phase? Okay, so you really don't need production people to be in this phases. Okay, unless you have a reason, you're working some specific projects that requires it. So, okay. So let's go to the next one, V-shaped SDLC model. Okay, so why it's called V-shaped? Because it's in, if you see this, there are 2 parallel things. They are doing 2 parallel at once. So that's the reason it's called V-shaped SDLC model. And this is derived from, from the normal SDLC model. Okay, and that's why it's called V-shaped SDLC model. So let's go pretty quick here. So you can view this document if you want to view. Okay, you'll be having this here in this Google Drive. If you just I'm saying this, okay, you can go to 26th folder and you can view all the documents, here. Okay, maybe a lot of documents are here. Okay, so if you want this document, you can get it in Google Drive. So I'll be giving you access to Google Drive by end of today. Okay, let's move to the next one pretty quick here. So every model has its own advantages and disadvantages. So that's the reason we have this. We will go to next model. So there's RAD. So RAD is more related to agile. So rapid application development. So that's the part in the agile. Okay. So agile has. So we'll discuss agile in detail on Monday. Okay. Agile has so many other features like those are modules like Scrum. RAD, so RAD is one of the examples. Kanban, okay, so these are all modules of Agile. So you may use only one of them or not all of them. You may not use all of them, but you have to know. Okay, so that's and then something called incremental SDLC. Okay, incremental SDLC means you were actually here you're doing validation verification. Okay, the incremental SDLC is similar. So the phases remain similar, okay, but extra you will be doing is validation and verification. So that's incremental SDLC. So let's go to the next one pretty quick here. So there's something called spiral SDLC model. So what happens in the spiral, there's 4 quadrants. If you see this, it's divided into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And every time you're moving in the one phase is, you keep on moving. So you're moving in spirally. So that's why it's called spiral SDLC model. And the phases remain same. If you see this prototype, concept, requirement, design, implement. Okay. So all these phases remain same. But here, what you're trying to do is you're moving from one quadrant to another quadrant. That's called spiral model. Okay, so let's go to the next pretty quick here. So agile, we'll discuss about this agile. Here you go. So here is agile, you have so many other features. You see this, dynamic software development, rapid, we'll talk about the Scrum because Scrum is more important, extreme programming. So all these are methods, okay? It's not necessary you'll be using all of them, okay? You might use only one or two, okay? There's also Kanban, okay? So these are methods, okay? Let's go to the next. Okay, so let's go to quickly here. So now let's talk about SDLC, okay? So far we have discussed about SDLC. There's also called STLC, Software Testing Lifecycle, okay? So here what you do is, uh, this is what we have discussed, we have discussed about this, right? First you prepare test plan, then you do your test cases, test execution, defect tracking, and test report preparation. So that's it about the STLC. So let's see here. We are using this. So we have completed this, right? We have also discussed about test plan. Okay, you'll be doing in this one of the phases, and then you have to also write the test cases for it, and you're executing. So everybody has executed the test cases, right? And test log preparation, that means whatever the logs. Let's see here. Logs in sense. You document your result, right? Let's say you have documented some result here. Okay, here is the result. These are the test logs, okay? These are actually the test logs. So one of the example, just don't have to be only that thing, but one of the example. Okay, defect tracking, of course we have open defect, right? Remember, so these are our defect tracking. And you want to track it, which number is this, so that's called defect tracking. And test report preparation, so we have talked about these reports, right? So if you are using any reports like burn down chart or burn up chart, so that's all about testing lifecycle, okay? Test plan, test case design, test execution, test defect tracking, and test report preparation. Okay, you can also go through this document. Okay, let's go to pretty quick here. So again, here test log is what you have documented in your execution. Let's say you have executed, right? You have documented. That's called test log. Okay. So let's go pretty quick here. So there's one more thing called defect life cycle. Okay, so we know we have opened this defect, right? So what are we talking about is, let's see here pretty quick. We are talking about the status of the defects normally. Okay, so let's go. Here we go. So what the defect life cycle is. So if you see this status, defect status, submitted, open, fixed, closed. So that's what we are talking here. Okay, so that means when you open this defect, it's a new status and you assign it to open. Okay, so that's what, remember, you have to put from submitted to open. Okay, once you open, you assign the defect, assign to concerned developer or the person who is responsible for it. And once it gets fixed, there's one more option. Actually, there's supposed to be one more option, fixed. Once it gets fixed, you have to retest it. Okay, retest it, then verify and close. Okay, so that's one flow. But the next flow, let's say you have assigned to the developer, okay, and developer fixed it, but you didn't think that it's not fixed. Okay, But if you are reopening the same defect again, you need to check with the developer. You cannot reopen again. It gets rejected. Okay, so you have to really coordinate the developer that you have reopened and you are assigning again. Okay, you need to check with the developer and make sure is it the right defect. Okay, so that's the second flow. And third is if you assign to the developer, but developer didn't have some time, said no, we don't have time, we're moving into the next release, then it gets deferred. Okay, that's the reason you have this deferred. And let's say if the developer doesn't think that it's not a defect, it gets rejected. So that's the defect life cycle or bug life cycle. So, it's normally it's don't require, so somebody asked a question, right? Who will change to verify? So verify is normally put to by the lead. Okay, if the lead is there, lead will be putting it, or you can also put, verify. So normally lead checks it and discusses with the team and changes the status. Okay. But field status has to be put by the developer, not by the tester. So that was about the bug life cycle. Any questions so far? So I'll be giving you access to the share drive. Make sure you can access it. All the documents, what I've said, you can go ahead and review it. Okay, it's better to review. Okay, if you have, you can review here, and you also have all the documents. You can view all the documents, requirements, documents, and all this. Okay, you can view it. So by today, I'll be sending you access for this, and also I'll be giving you homework. Some of people who missed. Okay, are the people who didn't do well, or they can improve. Okay, so I'll be doing the final homework for you guys, so you can complete hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. Let's see what is a good time, so you can work on that. Okay, so questions. So can we close this class for today? So that's what I keep telling, right? Send the email, don't ping it, but you know, you have to email it, because if there is anything, lot of emails get rejected because ping somewhere else. You have underscore, you have hyphen in your email ID. That's it doesn't get recorded properly. Okay, so that's how you have to always email. Okay, thank you guys.